Hi, I'm the Lyric Snitch, and I'm here to tell you about the lyrics that our children are listening to today. I've got a 10-year-old, and there's just certain songs that he just doesn't need to listen to. So make sure that you like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I really, really appreciate you coming along for the ride, and I am really very grateful for this. So, all right, so today's song is called Life is Good. And let me say, I did a reaction video. I actually did 2 reaction videos, and I didn't like them at all. Not at all, not even a little bit. So I've decided to just do the lyrics for Life is Good. And I did see the video. I may comment about that at the end, but that is what we have here. I'm looking at something on my screen. Sorry about that. Oh, you like my studio? I've learned how to do green screen. I'm going to get a better camera and a better microphone. So sorry about the mic issue, but this is the best sound that I could get with the setup that I have. All right, let's go. This is a song by Future. I don't know if it's featuring Drake or Drake, so I don't know how that works. So Future is a rap artist. I've been on the scene for a while. And then, of course, there's Drake. All right, so the chorus is Drake. Working on the weekend like usual. Way off in the deep like usual. In swear they passed us. They doing too much. Haven't done my taxes. I'm too turned up. So basically, he's just talking, just regular talk. Hey, working hard out here. Drake is known for having a good work ethic, a very hard work ethic. So if I wanted to read into that, I could say that. Okay, Virgil got to put Paddock. Virgil got a paddock on my wrist going nuts. Okay, so Virgil is a person, and he is the artistic director for Louis Vuitton. And he and Drake are friends. And there's a paddock watch that they have come out with. And actually, when the song was released, they both showed pictures of it on their Instagram or something like that. So that's what he's referencing right there. So then he says, ends caught me slipping once. Okay, so what? Okay, so what that's about is there is a rapper called Pusha T. And I don't know exactly when this happened, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't know exactly when it happened. But there was some beef between the two of them. So they were going back and forth with however they were going back and forth. I don't know if they were having little rap battles, not like Eminem rap battle, 8 Mile or anything like that. But so there was a conflict, controversy between them. So then Pusha T came out and said, "Hey everybody," in a song, "Hey everybody, Drake got a child that he's not claiming," and so it caught everybody off guard, and it caught Drake off guard. He was like, "Wow." So the long short of it is that eventually it did come out that he did have the child, and he admitted that he did have a child. So the backstory behind that is that Drake was getting a paternity test during all of this time, and something happened to the paternity test. These are out of Drake's mouth. I saw it in an interview recently, like yesterday. And Drake had a paternity test done, but something went wrong with it. So then they had to do another paternity test, and that's why it took so long for him to come out. So you can sit here, you can say, Drake was never going to come out with that, or you can say he got pushed to it to say that. But that's the story behind that. That's why he's like, you caught me slipping? So what? Let's see here. Someone hit your block up, I'd tell you if it was us. Now, I'm going to read into that. If someone hit your block up, then maybe there's a drive-by of some sort. And I'm not really, so you have to understand that Drake is like a storyteller. So I don't believe that Drake is living that lifestyle. There are rappers out there that are definitely living that lifestyle. Drake doesn't come from that. Drake was an actor. He's from Canada. Not that means that you can't do drive-bys from Canada. But he was an actor. He was in a story, not a story. He was on a show called Degrassi High, I believe so, as a teenager. And so, I believe right at this moment he's just telling the story, just kind of, like I said, just talking about telling his story, his narrative. Okay, Manor House in Rosewood. Manor House in Rosewood. This is too plush. Manor House is a hotel in London. It's a 5-star hotel, and so that's what he's talking about. Drake is still on. He's saying his verse. Say my days are numbered, but I keep waking up. I know you see my text, baby. Please say something. Wine by the glass. Your man's a cheapskate, huh? Ends got to move off my release day, huh? Okay, so the first part, he switched the story. And so, I believe that he's talking about a female. And he's like, hey, pick up, I know you see my texts. Go ahead and pick up or respond. and then working off of my release date. So this is regards to a controversy between himself and Kanye. And so Kanye invited him over to his ranch or whatever, whenever, a year ago. I don't know exactly when it was. And he said, "Hey, Drake, when are you gonna release your music? Let me listen to your music. When you gonna release it?" Drake told him, let him listen to his music, and told him what day he was releasing it. And boom, then Kanye ended up releasing his music before him or right at the same time. And so that's a big deal, release dates um, in the music industry. So he's speaking to that. Then he goes back to the girl, I guess. He says, "B, this is fame, not clout. I don't even know what that's all about. Watch your mouth. Baby got an ego twice the size of the crib. I can never tell her ish. It is what it is. Said what I had to, and I did what I did." Now, I could read a lot into that. Let's just take it for face value. Talking about some female and just telling her, you're not as you're a clout chaser, or you're not as big as I'm. I'm not even saying that right. She has a large ego, and so that's like face value. That's just like talking about some girl. Please understand that Drake has had a lot of women in his life, which, whatever that is, what it is. Let me name some of them. Let's see, Serena Williams, Taraji P. Henson. These are either friends or girlfriends or people that he's been linked with. Various models. I saw pictures of models that I'm just not familiar with. Rihanna, Nicki Minaj. I think he and Nicki Minaj are just friends, or they were friends. Jennifer Lopez, Haley Baldwin. I'm not really sure about that relationship before, what's his name? Justin Bieber. Rita Ora, Amber Rose, Tyler Banks, Zoe Kravitz, Black China. So again, these are all women that he's been linked with. Some of them friends, some of them not. You can leave the comments below and tell me who's who if you'd like to. But just basically, I'm just bringing that as a topic. But then if I really he just came off the Kanye thing. B, this is fame, not clout. I don't even know what that's all about. Baby got an ego twice the size of the crib. He might be talking about Kim Kardashian in some form or fashion. Is there something going on? Bad blood between him and Kim for some reason? If you know about that, leave the comments in below. But again, I really don't know. I don't have any sources for that. Never turn my back on FBG. God forbid. FBG is Free Bands. That is the label for Future. Future is the artist, the rap artist that's going to be rapping here pretty soon. Give you my number, but don't hit me on no dumb-ish. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, okay. Don't hit me on no dumb-ish. I forgot about that one. After he said, never turn my back on FBG, God forbid, I skipped a line. He says, Virgil got the paddock on my wrist doing front flips. So, take that as face value. You've got this really expensive watch on and you're doing front flips, not like real front flips, but you're excited about the fact that you have on this really good watch. So then I just Googled Drake and front flips just to see what was out there. And yet another, I believe it's Meek Mill. Meek Mill was at a basketball game and Drake was at the basketball game too. And so behind the scenes, the people who do the flips and stuff, the halftime workers, or what, not workers, but performers, they were doing things off the trampoline. And then Meek Mill did a front flip off the trampoline. And so if I keep in step with, okay, this person that he just talked about, we were talking about Pusha T. He had a controversy with him. And then he talks about Kanye. He had a controversy with him. And then if he wants to slip this in there, I'm totally reading into this. But if he wanted to slip that in there with the Meek Mill situation, but they did end up making up. And even going back a little bit in the interview regarding Pusha T, Drake was like, he got me. I can't do anything about that. But he also commented to the fact that he felt like it was a really low blow, that, like the type of person that he was dealing with. Certain things, you just don't cross those lines, he was saying. Okay, so then Drake goes back to the verse. I'm not going to repeat it. Then here comes Future. Now, in the song, there's an interlude. And in the interlude, it's actually a recording of an interview that Future did. And he says, it's cool, man. Got red bottoms on. Life is good. You know what I mean? So that was actually from an interview. Now, red bottoms are shoes by Christian Louboutin. And I keep saying I'm sorry. The red bottoms for girls are really fancy shoes and very expensive, and the red bottoms for guys are really fancy too. So then Future comes in and he says, "Yeah, 100,000 for the cheapest ring on my finger, Lil B. I done flew one out to Spain to be in my domain, and I done marshed the B. Woo." Okay, let's breathe on that for a second. Okay, so he has all these rings on his fingers, right? And even in the interview, he referenced the fact. In an interview, he referenced the fact that when he waves, his waves are expensive because he's got all these rings on his fingers and everything. Now, Artemis, and I know I'm not saying that right. Um, Audemars Piguet, that's what it is. Audemars Piguet is a watch, and so basically, if he put an ed at the end of it, so he's put this watch on her, and he's I won't say he's branded her, but let's just think of it like that. Um, Drop $3 on a ring, cost a Bentley truck, Lil B. So he's talking about he's spent all this money on this ring. It costs as much as a Bentley. And actually, what he's talking about is not $3, but $300,000. And he's known for giving extravagant gifts to women. I was in the trap serving cocaine. Yes, I was in the trap serving cocaine. I ain't been the same since. Okay, so here's my misunderstanding. You ready for this? I thought a trap house was where I thought the trap place was where the strippers were. And so every time actually, let me rephrase that. I thought trap music had to do with stripper music. Okay. So that was my thinking about trap music and the trap sound and the trap, that whole scene right there. But a trap house is actually where they sell the drugs. And so it's an old term, actually, back when prohibition and everything like that. And then it carried over through the 60s and became a house where, where you sold drugs. So that's what he's talking about, serving cocaine. He's talking about selling drugs. Okay. And Granny, she was standing right there while I catch a play on a brick. So a brick is drugs. I think a brick is a brick of cocaine or a brick of weed. I can't remember right now, but he's definitely talking about that. Now, he lived with his grandmother. So what I'm envisioning, again, a storyteller, he, he's at his grandmother's house, and she watched him do a drug deal, but maybe she didn't really know what was going down, but he was doing that in his grandmother's house. That's my interpretation. I make them little ends go haywire. Taliban in this B, woo. I done been down bad in them trenches, had to ride with that stick woo. So basically, he's just talking about comparing himself, to the Taliban, and also he has a stick, which is a gun. It might be a specific type of gun. Leave it in my comments for me. Let me know. Who gave you pills? Who gave you that dust? Pluto sent you on a lick, woo. So again, making reference to when he says, who gave you those pills, who gave you that dust, I'm thinking he's looping back around to his grandmother maybe, but maybe she's not calling it dust. So I don't know, but that's what he's talking about. And Pluto was the name of an album that he had a while ago. So that might be referencing that. When you sent you on a lick, that is easy money. So we've talked about that in some other videos. Let's see. Okay, I'm almost not done because at a certain point I was just like, oh, I'm tired. Too many convicts that roll with me to play this ish woo. I'm trying to avoid nonsense. Get Osama spray in this B woo. So again, he's just making reference to Osama bin Laden being at war. I'm paraphrasing. Being at war and things of that nature. Okay. They at the candlelight lighting it up. I don't know what that means. I was trying to see if candlelight was a place, but I'm not really sure what candlelight is. So you all tell me what that is if you know what that is. And anybody can get it. Woo. I'm on a PJ lighting it up. That's a private jet. Backwood full of sticky. So again, I said, well, what's all this mean? So a backwood is a cigar. So you open the cigar, you take it out, and you put the weed in there, and now you have a big um, blunt or whatever. No, whatever you call it. You have a big weed. I did not come out right. I'm tired already. All right. So sticky, sticky weed is better than dry weed. Don't ask me how I know this. Well, I mean, I looked it up. So, because I said, well, what's going on with the sticky? So, sticky weed is more potent than dry weed. Um, I'm trying to tote that Draco in London. Draco, I don't know again. Well, Draco is a code name for a gun. It's a type of gun, et cetera, et cetera. But then in another song, someone else was saying Draco and Drake. And so it could kind of, this is it's more apropos here because Drake is actually in the song, and then you've got the Draco in London. But Draco is definitely a firearm, and it's extended, so he has an extension on that. Woo. They got a stretcher in, out. We're going to die for this ish. Yeah, I ride from my ends. I lie to my B. So, basically, bros before is what he's saying. We support high-class ends. Made it. Rich. We rich, yeah. So, we were poor. Now we're high class. We got money now. I was at the Bando, which is abandoned house. Got a penthouse for a closet. Woo. So before, like he said, he was in the trap house selling drugs, which are abandoned houses. And so he was at the Bando, which are the abandoned houses. But now he's in the penthouse, and he's using that as a closet, euphemism there. It's like a chandelier on my neck, my wrist, woo. So, chandeliers have lots of glass, but he's talking about diamonds and things of that nature. I got pink toes that talk different languages, woo. So pink toes is another name for Caucasian women. Got, I can't pronounce this, promethazine, I should have said it before, promethazine in my blood, and Percocet, yeah. So that's a drug that they use. They mix it in lean, which is a drink that they use where they mix drugs and cough medicine, and I call it pop, but Sprite or something like that, and Jolly Ranchers. I'm not exactly sure the exact mixture. Actually, this is a new mixture that I'm coming across, but it has to do with lean. And, of course, Percocets are opioid meds. And let me just keep going. And then Futures has his chorus, 100,000 for the cheapest ring on my finger. Okay, I've already talked about that. Then Future says, racks by the ton, I call up Serena. So like Serena, she plays tennis and her rackets. It's a good play on words there. I go tremendo for new fettuccine. So I said, well, what's fettuccine have to do with anything? I looked it up. Fettuccine is an adjective for making money, high quality. All right. All facts, though, carrot the pinky. Maybe like put a carrot on my pinky. That's my thing. All facts, though, we ordered the Fiji. There's Fiji water, so maybe that's what he's talking about. If Fiji water may be a big deal in certain circles. If you know anything else, just put the comments in below. I'm in the loop with the VOO. I'm in the loop with the woo. Which one you working? I don't know if that has a drug connotation or not. Well, let me rephrase that. VOO did have a drug connotation, so maybe that's what he's talking about. I'm just not really sure. I'll put your face on the news. I'll put the P on the shirt after I murk it. I should have said parental advice. To murk something is to beat something up. Then make them go shoot up the Hertz like a funeral car. Cost me a quarter bird. That has something to do with 36 ounces of cocaine, and it's worth it. So to buy the 36 ounces of cocaine costs $17,500. So that's what he's talking about right there. And it's a term that Young Jeezy used. He is a rapper. And you a maniac, a effing alien. How you splurging? Not really sure what he's saying there. Just kind of talking, I guess. If I had to put my finger on that, got that kitty cat. That's a sexual reference for female body part. I'm having fun with that. Going Birkin. Now Birkin with a capital B. Birkin is a very fancy bag. I believe it's Hermes by Birkin or something like that. Very fancy bag. So again, this is Life is Good. He's dropping all these things that he has, all these high-end, high-class things that he has. And then Future goes into his chorus, and then he goes into an outro. 100,000 for this cheapest ring on an end finger, Lil B. It was a lot. It was a lot. So that is the song right there. I did watch the video, and my first impression of the song, I like some other songs that I've heard better. It did grow on me like the second time that I heard it, and the video is cute in that regard. But again, just all the references to drugs and things of that nature. I just wish that they could sing about something else. But even Future, he said in an interview that I saw, and he almost contradicted himself a little bit, it seemed like. But in the interview that I saw, he was talking about how drugs are what everybody's talking about. So in one breath, he was saying, "I'm gonna talk about the drugs because that's what everybody's talking about. That's the lifestyle that some of the people that are listening to it want, are in. And so I'm going to relate to that. I'm going to talk about that." And then in another breath, he was saying that he can do without the drugs, which is a valid point. But that's kind of it seems like he was on both sides of the fence in this particular interview. And even the interviewer said, "I don't talk about drugs." I don't think about drugs. And so it was just interesting to do some of the research on this song and the artist. And I thank you for watching. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. And I'm going to possibly do another video on, I forgot. Oh, I know what it is. Because I really like the beat for high fashion. I really like the beat for high fashion. And I really like the beat for Ballin'. I want to talk about what's going on with Ballin' and Mustard on that beat. So let me look at those lyrics, and we'll come up with another video. So stay tuned and make sure that you like and subscribe. All right. See you next time in my studio.